Wasn't going to do a video today, and then I came across this ADA chart. This is the MACD on the daily chart that we're looking at. This is a trend indicator, a momentum oscillator. It's kind of showing us a potential trend reversal, and I came across this move happening right now on ADA, and you see this MACD line in blue crossing the red signal line, and I was like, hold on a second, I have to dig into this. I started plotting, the last times that this happened, and the charts kind of painting a very, very telling story of what is potentially next for ADA. And I want to just break it down one by one. And also I want to discuss one reason why this indicator is something we should be very careful of. But before I do, I wanted to read this tweet from Ada Whale, one of our favorites on Twitter. While the crypto world seems to be burning, actually increasingly feel like it's just a regular old bear market. This is just so important as we get ready to dig in these charts, because there's a lot of noise going on in crypto world. There's a lot of negative headlines. There's a lot of bad news going on in the world outside of crypto. And I want to draw your attention to what he's saying. Feels like increasingly a regular old bear market, just one with Mt. Gox on steroids, and one where the majority of people on here seem to have been especially enamored by Mt. Gox 2. So they've been very vocal and hurt. Mt. Gox 2 here refers to the whole complex of custodial staking, over-leveraged exchanges run by man-children, VC coins that will be holding-ish, etc. And then Adam Dean made a great point. The space is bigger, so the depth of the pain is seemingly more severe, more damaged parties. But yeah, just another cycle in my opinion. Piggybacking off of what Adam's saying there, it's just more noise. You just hear the pain of it all more because the space is bigger than when it was in the last bear market in 2018 and cryptos were suffering. But what's interesting about it is, and we use the Bitcoin charts all of the time, we use the zoomed out Bitcoin charts and the cycles of Bitcoin as a roadmap for crypto, and this is what it looks like. It looks like nothing new. It looks like every ordinary bear market, and there's even more room for downside for the Bitcoin charts. And we use this Bitcoin chart as a roadmap for crypto. We use the Bitcoin chart even as we're starting to dig into the zoomed in, like this chart on ADA that we're going to look at. Now, one thing that's just awesome about Cardano for me is the fact that through all of this bear market, through all of the noise, guess what? Fundamentally, the technology, the blockchain is growing. Here's smart contracts on the rise. Over here, ADA wallets and delegators on the rise. We can go over here. I just tweeted this. Cardano has surpassed 7 million native tokens. Cardano blockchain on the rise. Chains activity. Check this out. If we're looking at Cardano in terms of adjusted transaction volume, it's leading everything. It's before Bitcoin. If you want to kind of go by just transaction volume, 24-hour transaction volume, Cardano's number 2 behind Bitcoin. It's not a ghost chain, everyone. It's not. And Cardano, actually, a matter of fact, in this bear market, positioning itself even better than it was in the previous bear market. And we saw what happened in the last bull market. And for me, because this is what this video is about, this is how I see things, this is my view and my opinion, that's what makes me bullish about Cardano blockchain. So yes, we're in the bear market. And so I don't kind of go on and just ramble about this. We take our bars pattern from the last bull market high to bear market low. And to kind of illustrate what Ada Whale was saying, we stretch this out. Guess what? It's not exact. It's not perfect, but this feels like just like any other bear market, namely for Cardano, the last one. It's different. There's different headlines. There's different things going on, but it feels like a bear market. How low will it go? Nobody knows. But as we kind of track this journey of ADA to the downside, and we plan, because that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to plan for the next cycle, the next bull cycle, and I watch these charts for visualization tool so that I can plan accordingly. And so here we are now as we've been tracking Cardano. Many of you know, if you've been watching my technical analysis, we've broken below the lower trend line. We kind of pulled back, which is something we always anticipate in these moves. Got the pullback, got the resistance, and we've continued to fall. We know we can go a little bit lower to hit the actual target, and that's actually where this MACD chart kind of comes into play. I want to discuss that. So now let's talk about the MACD and what is potentially getting ready for ADA in terms of this pump that historically kind of does play out. So I was kind of watching these charts, and I saw this MACD line crossing the signal line. And very quickly, I was just like, every time I see this on a weekly chart for any crypto or even a daily, I'm just like, I want to go back and see what happened previously. History doesn't always repeat itself, everybody, but I just can't even stress this enough. The consistency on the crypto charts, if you just dig into the data, it's just so there. It's so there. And for me, it just offers such a good tool. And it's not definite. This is speculative, everything we're talking about, but it's such a good, helpful tool for me as I try and find my way and make my plans through this bear market. So here's the last time. First off, let's start here. The last time we got a MACD crossing above the signal line was back here. It was October 24th, 2022. And let's see what ADA did. ADA in October, right when that happened, pumped right around 20 to 30%. 20 to 30% pump for ADA when we got that MACD crossing the signal line. And it was an important move for a couple of reasons in that time. And that's why we take all context of the charts into account for each of these moves. So it was important because ADA was obviously retesting, right? It was retesting this lower trend line. And after we get a break to the downside, we always anticipate these pullbacks. There it was. And it was happening alongside that MACD cross. The setup was there. But maybe more importantly, ADA was also breaking through and testing the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. This is the story, if you've been watching these technical analysis videos, that I've personally been tracking. It's the resistance below. It's the failure below this whole entire bear market below these moving averages. And it's such a simple visualization to see this happen. It's what a bear market looks like. It's just failure to see any type of higher highs or higher lows, any type of support above the moving averages, especially the 200-day all the way up there. ADA is not even close to testing that right now. The reason why that's important in this bear market is because we want to see the higher highs and higher lows above. That's a confirmation on the zoomed out, because in bullish moves, guess what? ADA is seeing higher highs and higher lows above the moving averages in bullish environments. We're waiting for the bullish environment. We're waiting for the confirmation. At least I am. And so every time ADA makes a move to those moving averages is important to me. So the last time we got that MACD, ADA made a move to those moving averages. It failed, right? So if we look back now, I want to note something, because the first thing that comes to mind for many people might be, you know what? Every time this happens, it really does seem ADA pumps a little, even if it's not a lot, right? You go back here, here's a MACD cross, and this was like in August or so, maybe beginning of September, and it pumped like 20%. For some people, that's not a lot. It was testing those moving averages again. But here's where I think the alarms go off a little bit for me, because it's not so consistent. It's very compelling. And if you look back at every time the MACD crosses, ADA does seem to pump, but there's other things happening, right? And one example I want to point out is this. Right here, when the MACD was crossing above the signal line, and this was around May 20th, I want to point something out because it's important, especially with the setup that we're in right now. ADA on May 20th, there's the MACD cross right here. ADA actually fell like 15%. The indicator did its job in signaling a momentum shift, because the momentum shift came right after, and ADA pumped around 50%. So the MACD cross played out, and we got the histogram kind of going green. Everything was playing out very nicely in the move. But after that MACD crossed the signal line, it wasn't an automatic pump. ADA fell around 15% first. The reason why that's important for me as I watch these charts is because, remember, when we're watching this entire move, we take into context everything going on with Cardano right now. And it's kind of like, all right, well, be careful with that MACD for a second, because remember, we didn't exactly hit our target out of the triangle yet. There's most certainly room for downside, especially as a 20-day is kind of getting close to ADA right now. If you notice, when ADA fell back here before the MACD finally did prove itself useful, you can see the 20-day was getting pulled into Cardano ADA there as well. So that's something I'm taking into account. Needless to say, if we zoom out on this chart again, if you go back and you look at every MACD cross, even in this entire bear market, most of the time, and we can stretch this out a little bit, most of the time you can see ADA pumping. There's another 50% pump. Here's a very small one, right? Here's a MACD cross, little bit of a fake out, but a nice green day or two, 20%. So it's kind of like this indicator, very useful in determining, at the very least, a move to these moving averages. I think there's a time right around here. Here's a MACD cross where really not much happened other than just constant resistance and unknown at the 20-day moving average. But you go back, bull market, bear market, it's so interesting to watch what happens. These little pumps with these MACD crosses to the 20-day and 50-day moving averages. So for me, I'm kind of like right now, the indicators I'd be watching are the moving averages. Is ADA about to pump to not only the 20-day, which is only 4% away, but the 50-day, which is 15% away? Are we going to get a pump? And what happens at those moving averages? Because remember, from that bear market, bull market visualization standpoint, those moving averages and ADA breaking above those moving averages is what we're waiting for. Breaking above the moving averages and then staying above so that we start getting a shift of the moving averages. That's what we're looking for. And it's just not happened yet. So the MACD could be signaling, hey, ADA again is going to test those areas. So just watch out for it. And there is the indicator right now. So everybody, this is just how I see things. This is what I'm watching right now on this Saturday night. I hope you're doing well out there. There's a lot of crypto drama going on, and this is what the ADA charts look like. So let me know your comments below. I appreciate you cruising by. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.